Hi, good morning. Thank you all for being punctual and getting here on time. We want to start your day off right. My name is Michelle Anderson from Awakening Code Radio on KXFM in Laguna Beach. I'd like to ask a question. How many of you have been here for the first time at Conscious Life Expo? A lot of new people. Wonderful. Well, welcome. This is our 21st annual. You probably already know that, and I'm sure you've seen all the 3 floors of speakers and vendors and everything, so we appreciate you coming. I just learned something about Maureen that I didn't know before I walked in, and I learned that she lives in Laguna Beach, right where our radio station is, and that she donates all of her profits for her spiritual work to her nonprofit, Angels Among Us. Did any of you know that before you walked in here? You read it? Good. Well, I just love seeing people do this kind of work that helps each one of us connect with our loved ones on the other side and help each one of us with our spiritual growth, and to know that Oracle Maureen is dedicated to helping others really just infused my heart with so much gratitude and love. So I would like all of you to give a warm round of applause to welcome Oracle Maureen. Thank you.
Okay, so I think you're off and I think I'm on, right? Thank you. Thank you so much for such a warm welcome, and thank you so much, Michelle, for such a nice announcement and introduction. I appreciate that. Let me make my way over here without falling off the stage. Okay. All right, you guys. Well, wow, what a nice group that showed up. You know, I kind of have this vibe. Would you guys want to kind of clamor together a little bit? Like maybe move up just a little bit. My voice will kind of get a little bit soft even though we have the microphone, which I know is good. So those in the back, if you want to kind of scooch up, I think it might be good for you, just in case when I'm channeling, if my voice kind of goes soft, which it will, you don't miss anything. So, okay, good. Excellent. Well, welcome everybody to a mediumship workshop with Ascended Master Kuan Yin. She's already standing behind me and wanting me to announce her presence to you. So how many of you know who Kuan Yin is? Goddess of Mercy and Compassion, a Bodhisattva. She's wearing a blue dress right now. She's holding a rosary of pearls right now. So she wants her presence completely announced. She will be channeling through me to you the enlightenment to help you with everything she's going to teach you through me in the next hour and a half. I have to watch this just because I'll be in a heavy trance this whole time, and they're on a schedule, and she's on a schedule, and I'll be what's in a very hypnotic state where I'm managed by her, and then I also have to be mindful of the time here. What we can help you achieve in helping you connect with your loved ones on the other side. She showed me around 11:15. We're going to give you guys a guided meditation to help. I don't know what. She doesn't usually tell me beforehand. So it could be activating your third eye, your clairvoyance, or it could be activating all of your psychic abilities. I don't know which it is. Whatever it is, it's a gift. Why is it a gift? I want you to think, you may just see my physical body. Think whenever you're in my presence, you're in her presence. The gift is her power and her power going into you through me to activate your psychic abilities. That's the gift. So I want you to look at that when that guided meditation happens. That's the gift of you showing up for this workshop tonight and putting your time and your energy and your resources into something that pleases her and God, which is being willing to embrace your loved ones on the other side and work on achieving how to connect and receive them. So everybody wants to receive their visitations from their friends and family on the other side? Yes. Okay. So I'm just curious. Do we have doubters and skeptical people in here? We have a couple. Okay. So for anybody that is a doubter, you're going to have to work really hard to get your walls of denial and doubt down. Like, work really hard. I want you to think, whenever you're working on anything spiritual, it is a work reward process. God will activate your psychic abilities, open them up, and expand them based on what you've earned. The more grateful you are, the more work you put into it through meditations, through practice readings, the more they're going to be allowed to open and expand, which means the more you're going to be allowed to experience your loved ones in heaven. The more someone doubts and denies, the more they're going to stay closed, the slower the process. So I want you guys to start thinking. You'll want to hold yourself in a very humble state the entire time you are working on opening up and activating yourself for mediumship, or if you wanted to just open yourself for even just activating your abilities for anything and everything. Okay. Kuan Yin is saying, thank your loved ones, and I know this firsthand because I've been doing this for over 15 years, are extremely excited, happy when they're able to come through and visit you. Think they're also at your mercy to be able to receive your connection. If you don't receive them, you let them down. When I do mediumship and people can't receive them because of denying, because of discounting, even because of innocent amnesia, I have to feel their heartbreak, their frustration, their anger. Okay? So when you guys are in the kitchen and Dad shows up and he's saying Dad in your ear and you hear it, and you're seeing visions of your dad and you know it and you ignore it, just know if your dad would be, she's channeling upset, what Maureen wants to say starts with a P and has an S and ends with a D, at you. If he would be that with you on earth, he's that on the other side. So just think they have the same exact feelings on the other side that they have here. So if you think you're letting them down by ignoring them, you are absolutely letting them down when you are ignoring them. When I do mediumship, especially in group readings, because it happens a lot, people are more timid in group readings. They'll deny them more than in a private reading. They will let me know, literally, their level of intensity of anger or upsetness and frustration when their person on earth rejected them and denied them to come through, and it hurts them. It causes them heartbreak. That's exactly what people on earth are doing to their loved ones when you are ignoring them and not letting them in. The biggest gift you can give to them is to let them in. They are completely 100% at your mercy to let them in. It is through your free will and your willingness to let them in. Then it's through your psychic abilities to be able to let them in through the ability to know, see, hear, and feel through all of your chakras, all the different ways of experiencing their validations and seeing their souls come through. So I want you to think that's the power and the responsibility that you hold now until you cross over and you're on the other side and you're with them soul to soul. Until that day comes, you're in this kind of a challenged state where you're in the physical dimension, they're in the ethereal dimension on whatever level they're on the other side. Hopefully it is heaven. In any event, they're at your mercy to open that door to let them in. When you don't, this is what I see. I see them surrender, and then I see them have to turn away and walk away and get shifted away. And that causes them sadness and heartbreak. When you do the opposite and you let them in, it causes them so much joy and happiness you have no idea. When I'm done doing readings and they're done using me, they'll turn to me and they'll give me gifts and they'll thank me so much for helping them connect to the earthlings, like more than what people understand. They give me my own gifts. Like you all get your gifts of roses and hearts and rainbows. They give me bouquets of flowers. Kids give me candy. They give me teddy bears. They're so overjoyed. I'm telling you this so you understand the reality of how real it is for them. They're exactly them, except without the physical body. They're exactly them in their perfect soul state, just without physical body. So think, it's just their souls outside their physical body on the other side. They have the same mind, they have the same heart, they're in their soul state. So, today we're going to teach you how to open up. I'm going to teach you, you're going to do some readings with each other. I'm going to teach you how it's going to kind of look, feel when you start to connect with them, so that you feel more confident when you leave here, so that you don't deny them, so that you're more confident with yourself. When you leave here, I want you to think it's not a 1.5 hour type workshop. It is, you have to keep practicing and practicing and practicing. When I teach mediumship, it's typically an 8-week, 2-month process. This is just an introduction to it. But when you leave here, if you practice the opening up, if you practice the practice readings I'm going to have you do, which I want you to do, what Kuan Yin wants you to do, you can keep doing this until you are in an actual longer course, whether it's mine or some other qualified teachers. Okay. I also want you to think, when you open this door of wanting to communicate and receive from the other side, think of everybody on the other side you have. You have your desirable ones that you want, mom and dad, grandparents, but then you also have friends and aunts and uncles. Keep yourself open and receptive to them as well, okay? I want you to think they're going to come through with validations of letting you know that they're okay, okay? Once you get to a point where you're like, yeah, I know that they're okay, and you're healed from the transition, what will happen next is God will allow them to come through and give you what we call valuable information that can help you in your life today, which is what we really want you to achieve. Think your loved ones in heaven have access to your book, which is your book of life on earth. Your guides and angels have full access to your book of life on earth. All the chapters, all the details, who you're supposed to be with, what you're supposed to be doing, every turn you're supposed to make. Your friends and relatives have access to certain views of it. So mom and dad can come through and know absolutely you're supposed to be with this spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend or not. You're supposed to have this job or not. You're supposed to move or not. They're so anxious to come through and guide you. They call themselves helping guides. So in the chain of guides and angels, they're not an angel, they're not a spirit guide, but they work like a helping guide when they reach that level where they're allowed by God to give you advice. That's what we want you to get to, that level of achieving, which means you have to get more opened up and you have to get more receptive and not denying them, so that they are allowed to come through and be able to say, it's time for you to sell this house, move here, da 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 da, and you're going to feel more confident with what's already been going on with your intuition. That's really what they want to do. They want to help guide you. Kuan Yin is showing me they want to pick up the pieces where they left off on earth, where maybe they didn't guide you so good on earth. They also want to continue to guide you from the other side. If they did a phenomenal job here on earth, they want to continue to do it there. So either way, whether they're awesome here or not awesome here, they want to continue to assist you and guide you again and again and again and again and again. By the way, it helps them. They get positive karma from God when they help you. So it helps them. Okay. Kuan Yin is saying, I have to also teach you guys psychic shield and protection, which we are going to do today. It is extremely important when you open up, whether it's mediumship or wanting to do just tuning into your guides and angels for check-ins about anything in your life, you have to know and you have to practice doing psychic shield and protection. When you open up yourself to anything that is around you in the universe. And it's not going to just be mom and dad. Unfortunately, the universe is very vast. It has positive entities and spirits, and it has negative. So I'm going to give you a little tiny crash course that you must accept that reality. If you just think there's only the positive, you're going to make a mistake, and you could start listening to something that could trick you and guide you down the wrong path. And yes, they do trick you. So you're going to want to constantly do the shielding meditations to keep yourself shielded from the negative entities that do try to trick, which is why we teach classes a little bit longer, and we do spend time on that. Okay, she's letting me stop here, and I can take maybe 1 or 2 questions, and then she's going to go into the next phase. Does anybody have a question so far? Yes. James has a microphone too. I have James with a microphone for you guys.
Hi, my boyfriend's a musician, and several musicians that have passed have tried to contact me to contact their loved ones, and I turned them down, and I've been feeling very guilty about it, but I wasn't comfortable going up to their spouses and saying, oh, here's a message from your husband that's passed, but I don't know. Did I cause heartbreak? Do I have bad karma? Did I do the wrong thing? I just wasn't sure.
I have the answer for you. Okay, so when I was activated, okay, and I'm assuming most of you probably have had to have gone to my website and checked me out. I would before I just go to someone's class, right? In my activation period where I was called upon, and I had that 2-month miraculous experience, after I stopped resisting my guides and I finally surrendered to my gifts and I allowed them to teach me, then all of a sudden it wouldn't stop, and I would see people's in heaven. I'd be getting my nails done and I'd see the nail person's mom and dad come through, and it was like they were training me, and they showed me, you are here to work full time, and it's on. And they taught me in that process where it would not stop, that you don't just go to someone and drop it down in their lap, that there's boundaries, and that you have to invite the person in and say, I have an ability to connect with souls on the other side. Just so you know, I'm experiencing and seeing your mom and dad right now. Would you like the messages that they have been giving me the whole time you've been doing my nails? Literally. And then the girl was like, yeah, I'm totally into that. I'm like, oh my God. So thank goodness my guides and angels did this to everybody who was receptive when they put me in this spot. And when they activated me to professional level when this was happening, and I'm stuck with like movie level, and I'm like, what? Blah, blah. And so she was grateful. She received it, and the whole time she's finishing, I'm giving her a reading with mom and dad, and then here comes the grandmother, and here comes the grandfather, and she's like, and she became a regular client. And then that continued to happen for like the 2-year period I worked with my guides and angels before I worked professionally. But they let it be known, you respect people's boundaries. You don't just go drop it in and say, I got dad here, he's got this to say to you, da 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 da. You ask them, would you like to know? If you don't do that, you will get negative karma. So you hold your cards, hold the information, and you ask the person, would you like it? Even with my daughters, and one of them is over there, I have to practice that. Even with them, she works for me. She's recording me right now. Her idea, not mine. And as a mother, you're always like, oh, do this, do this, right? I'll even get in trouble for that. So I have to, Ava, I got a vision for you last night. Would you like it? And here I'm sitting here going, you better say yes, girl. Because you are a repeat offender on this one and you need to know it. So I have to catch myself with my daughters, and my guys will hold me back. So remember, there's ethics. Yes, the answer is yes. So be very graceful, and you have to be very disciplined and strong when you get it. Another thing, when people, she just showed me the opposite side. When you guys get more activated and you are getting what we call usable information, if people come to you, your friends and family, and they want you to do maybe a reading on somebody, this is mediumship, but they want you to tune in, make sure that they're honorable, that the reading is very honorable too. That's more of a personal reading if they want to come to you, but just make sure that everything is very honorable on that side too. So I'll talk about more of that later. I would go into it more today, but we don't have time. So there is actually a lot of ethics with it. So I'm guiding you guys in a way that's going to prevent you from creating negative and help you create the positive. Okay. Anybody have any other questions?
I see or hear synchronicities. So,
Can you
hear me, right?
Yeah, I can.
I see or hear synchronicities, and I don't know what to make of them. And it'll be like a 2-month span where they're coming in like all the time. So I'll think something, and then I see it on a billboard or I hear it on the radio. It's exactly lining up with what I thought. And I don't know if that's messages from people in past. I don't know if this is even like in the territory, but I just can't make any sense of it. It doesn't like line up. I've tried like writing them down and then scrambling or like trying to figure out.
So yeah, with synchronicity, it doesn't really line up with mediumship. So I'm going to keep it to mediumship. It's basically, I'm going to call it the collective group. It could be your guides, your angels, and maybe your relatives, and possibly God. The collective group communicating to you through symbols. And the more you open up and the more you learn about the different symbols that they're going to use for you, the more you're going to understand the synchronicity in the symbols. So the best thing you could do would be to keep practicing meditating so that you're more connected to all of them and keep working on opening up. So, and that's all I can say on that because it's not mediumship, but it is absolutely connected to basically the opening up part of spiritually activating yourself. Yeah.
So what do you make of within school, like the teachings and questioning, and when you get that answer, is that from the other side and loved one, or is it just right back?
Losing, James, I think I need the microphone in this one. Losing tools?
Using tools.
Yeah, okay. Well, you guys should have been at the divination panel yesterday. So you're talking to a channeler. I'm not allowed to use tools. I tried in the very beginning out of curiosity a pendulum. My guys basically just shut me down so hard and fast. I got tarot cards, they shut me hard, and I kept hearing you're an advanced channeler, and I kept getting all these visions of me as a child channeling. Finally, they gave it to me. It is not necessary. You don't need tools. You hear and see everything so clearly. You're at a much, much more advanced level. You will get disciplined if you get into the habit of tools. So look at it like when you've achieved channeling, especially a master level channeling, it's absolutely forbidden for me. If you're learning from someone not as advanced, they're going to say, yeah, use tools. Someone like me is going to walk in the room and go, be careful, because it can become a crutch, and what is going to happen is you're going to get misled and misguided more easily, because the guides and angels want you ultimately to be this. They want you to rely on psychic abilities because it's more accurate. They want you to get the clear words, visions, knowing, feelings. They don't want you discerning the cards. They don't want you discerning the pendulums. They don't want you relying on the tools. If you really, really have to, and I know most people do and they want to, Do it if it's comfortable, but you really have to open up and connect with your guides and angels, because there's such a window of misinterpretation with the tools. That's the danger of it. If you have no tools and you're more this, you're going to continue to become more psychic, and it's going to continue to expand, and you're going to continue to become more accurate with it. Do you get what I'm saying? So I know a lot of people don't like that because they like the tools, especially tarot. There's a blog on my website that Kuan Yin channeled several years ago about tarot cards. And it was, tell them if they do it, they still have to go through the opening up process and connect with their guides and angels, so that when they're discerning the tarot cards, they're doing it with the help of their guides and angels, not just themselves, because the discernment won't be as accurate. So if you learn from me, you don't get to have tools with me. If you learn from somebody else, just remember this lesson. Open up and still use your abilities and the help of your guides and angels, or danger. Yeah. Sure.
So the first question I have is, can you look at people and discern whether mediumship or channeling is their main gift? That's the first question. And then the second question is, when you're doing mediumship, correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe there's different levels of the soul. When, like, let's say you're channeling someone's parent, for example, right? Is there a lower vibration of them, like the ghost version versus their higher self version? Like, do you choose the higher self version so the information has less distortions?
Okay, so the first question, if you have a reading with me, if you've earned the answer, is what it is. If someone sits down with me, yes, when heaven wants them to know, we'll say it through me, or it could be through another messenger. If they're to do mediumship, if they're to become a professional reader, if they're to do personal readings, yes, I can get it. I've gotten it a whole bunch of time with people. One of the symbols I'll get when someone sits down for a reading is Kuan Yin will put a crystal ball right in front of them. It's happened actually at this expo with several people, and they're now in my classroom, and they're completely activated. So it happens when the person's earned it, and heaven says it's time for them to get activated. And it could happen, again, with me or anyone else like me. So look like work reward situation. So yeah, someone like me can give you that guidance. So you can look for that validation. But you'll also know it going into it. You'll have that feeling. So, yeah. The higher, lower part of a soul, no. When I experience them, they just come through. They look like people, like us. They sound exactly like people, like us. No, there's no higher or lower. They're exactly like they were when they were here, except they're more kind because they're on the other side, right? There's no higher or lower. They are where they are in their soul's development, and based on how long they've been on the other side, think when they're on the other side, they've been working on continuing to evolve. So they could be kinder, they could be wiser, but there isn't a higher or a lower. So that part, no, that doesn't happen. And they literally just float right through a wall. They pop up right in front of me, and they look just like humans, like us, wearing even clothes, and I can just see through them. So that higher, lower, I don't know where you learned that from, but if I were you, I would erase it. Just think their souls, just exactly how they were when they were here, just a better version of themselves, because they're detached from the ego, but they also still have some of those negative feelings. I've experienced them, which is still the anger, frustration, upsetness, and my dad's on the other side. And so I'll experience his at a much more intimate level than non-relatives, right? And it amazed me. Like in the beginning, my dad had heat with my siblings. And then I went, oh, Dad, you're angry? How can you be angry? You're in heaven. He's like, because I thought everyone that went to heaven was happy. He's like, and one of my nicknames is Mouse. Mouse, I have all the same feelings. I am angry. I am furious. And he had reasons to be furious. I'm like, whoa, I didn't know you could be mad in heaven. He's like, you can be mad in heaven. You have the exact same feelings. Nothing changes. And I was like, whoa. Other than they continue to work on evolving. So look at that. Yeah. Yeah.
Talk about reincarnation.
I would love to talk about reincarnation, but I gotta stick to mediumship.
Does it happen?
Oh, 100,000%. Yeah, 100,000%. Yeah, I would love to talk about reincarnation.
Because
Yeah, another class, another time, would love it. But yes, there is.
How do you connect with it? Like, what if
Yeah.
Grandpa's
Oh,
now
okay,
here? And
okay.
does that make sense?
You mean yeah? So if they reincarnate,
Yeah.
yeah, you can't. So no. So when they cycle and then come back and reincarnate, then think you can't communicate with them any longer. So you have that window of opportunity, which is, oh, that's your question. Because reincarnation, I could go on and on and on about. I thought you meant just the topic of reincarnation. So think, and that's a good question, you have literally, Kuan Yin is showing me, a window of opportunity to communicate and still have a relationship with your people on the other side. Once they reincarnate, that door is shut. And when I do readings, that will happen. All of a sudden, they're not coming through, and then she'll let me know, or Jesus will let me know they've reincarnated. That door is shut. They're not able to come through.
So isn't it around 20 years for the reincarnation?
No, it's like a different cycle for everybody. So it all depends on their process, and everybody has a different experience when they go on the other side. Even to get to heaven can take a different amount of time to even get to heaven. And then they have to go through a process once they get through heaven of everything that they have to get through, including healing and then planning and charting their next incarnation. So it's not even just waiting for their family. It has everything to do with their soul's growth, healing, and then also earning their next incarnation, planning it. There's a lot to it. No, they're literally in another body as another person, and that door literally is shut. And that's part of the intensity. Like when I do, like, especially the group readings, because there's so much people that shut down and can't receive them because they're either embarrassed or afraid or just denying it, because it's a group, and in private it's different. It's less on the spot. They're so upset. They're so upset, and I can't say that because Kuan Yin is channeling, won't let me say it. So I understand it more now because it's so limited and fragile. They're so at the mercy of the earthling being able to receive them, and then there is a time-sensitive thing. And when it's time for them to reincarnate, they're going to reincarnate, and then that door is shut. So you can look at it like if you want to continue, she just said, your relationship with your people, then you have to step forward with the practice of mediumship and have them with you as long as you are able to before they reincarnate. And think when they reincarnate, they're going to have to do it for their own soul's evolution. The ultimate goal for all of us is to graduate from the school of earth and make it to heaven full-time permanently. We come here incarnation after incarnation after incarnation to clear up our karma, to go through lessons, tests, initiations, to evolve our soul to the level of purity and perfection, to the level where we are deemed perfect in God's eyes. When we've evolved to that level, then God allows us to live full-time permanently in heaven. Kuan Yin and Buddha behind you said nirvana. Jesus behind me said paradise. That is his desire, that is their desire. When we've evolved to that level, we are free, we are cleared, we are released from ever having to incarnate on the difficult, challenging dimension of Earth. That's why they would want to come back and do it again, because that is like the race, the goal, to keep getting through this boot camp to get to that ultimate place of life in heaven permanently. That's our goal. We forget it. We go into amnesia once our little baby bodies hit here. But that's our ultimate soul's goal. Make sense? Yeah. Yeah.
I heard that there's this heaven and there's hell. Is that is there living in hell or someone going to hell instead of going heaven?
There's a what?
Hell?
Yeah.
H-E-L-L?
There's hell. They've shown me
There
hell.
is. Is it I heard like hell have fires and hots and...
That's for another class, but just so you know, in the years I've worked for the Ascended Masters, Jesus has shown me hell and purgatory. So there is heaven, there is hell, there is purgatory. Yes. And another class that's not mediumship, you can follow my classes, and I teach about that in my advanced class and in my Bible class. And it's actually very interesting. So they've taken me to those levels more than once to teach about them, actually. Not just to show it to me, it's to actually teach people that they're very real. So they're very real. Yeah.
Yeah, when you mentioned earlier about reincarnation, are you talking about reincarnating to this world, or is it other worlds? Is it here to this planet? I was
That's
kind of
a
wondered
good
about that.
question. There are other planets that you can go to. So there are other dimensions. There are other planets. Absolutely. They've shown me that. So they can go to other planets. This is one of the hardest ones. So where they go to, and in readings, they'll just let me know they've reincarnated, done. They don't tell me what planet. I'm not allowed access to that, but the answer to that question, that's a very valid question. Yeah, they can. Yeah. I'm going to take 2 more questions, and I'm going to make you guys do some practice readings. I've seen your hands up first, and then I'll do you. And then I'm going to make you guys do work.
Yes. I've studied mediumship for a long time, so I'm like unlearning some of the things I've learned through the spiritualists, that when a person dies, they go straight to heaven, and they kind of eliminate the ghost and spirits. Now I've picked up spirits in the house, and I describe them. I get the name of the person at sometimes. What am I reading? And where am I wrong? The spirits go to heaven as soon as they pass? What happens in between?
You guys really want to know?
The ghosts and the spirits and...
Okay, you're not going to like this answer. I've been allowed to answer this to my devoted students that have been practicing underneath me for a long time. So I've recently started to teach this in my advanced class and my Bible study class. Jesus and God have given me the answers to this a couple years ago. So here it is. When we die, no, most of us actually don't go straight to heaven. Jesus gave me the vision years ago, probably about 5 or 6 years ago. He gave me a vision, and I'm a principal oracle for him. Here's one of my wedding rings for him. And in the vision, he's standing in front of the doorway to heaven, and as a principal oracle for him in heaven, and then I earned it here, also on earth. I'm standing right by his side. I stand 2 inches from the side parallel. I'm standing by his side. His hand is on the golden doorknob, and he showed me everybody has to get through him to get through the doorway to heaven, which means they have to have faithfulness and belief in God and in Jesus, and they also have to be cleared of their sins and mistakes. And if they're not, they have to either, and he showed me in front of me and him, sit in the entryway to heaven, which is a long, and I couldn't see where it ended, entryway that was like a timeout area. It was gray, it was benches, and I saw people sitting and it was just sitting in reflection. Either sit in the entryway to heaven, which is before the doorway, or if they've committed higher level sins and mistakes, go underneath the entryway to heaven and go to the levels of purgatory beneath it and serve their time, which is to clear off their sins and mistakes, which is to repent, which is to go through the acts of prayer, forgiveness, that they didn't do while they were here, and then work their way up before he will open that doorway. And then the reason I'm standing there was he wanted me to teach the world. And then before and after that vision, God and Jesus and Kuan Yin took me and showed me the different levels to purgatory and hell. And they were traumatic, and it was to teach that these levels really exist, which they really exist, as well as taking me to heaven, and to have the courage to speak up and say they really do exist. So the reality is, the more pure you can become, the closer you're going to make it to that doorway. The goal is to get through that doorway, your first hit, when you transition out of your body. So the reality is, the minority of people make it through that doorway immediately when you cross over. The majority make it actually to that entryway, and then underneath that majority, they go to the levels of purgatory. If there's anybody that does not have faithfulness in both God and Jesus, you are unfortunately immediately in purgatory. Done. And you're there until you finally confess and admit remorse for having not have faithfulness in both of them. Jesus explained to me it's his house and it's God's house. And he explained to me, why would I let anybody into my house that does not believe in me and respect me? So they've given it to me several different ways. And that is one of the main reasons why so many people end up in that, he calls it the lower level of purgatory, where you're not the murderer, you're not committing major hardcore sins, but it's unfaithfulness in both of them. And he made it very clear, my hand is on this door, I will not let them in. And I was like, and first of all I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that, I forgot that. And then he asked me to teach that, and then I was like, they're going to hang me in the village. You will get rewarded by me and God. Go forward. I'm like, okay, here's your answer. Now you know. It's a good thing. Jesus once said to me when I had to deliver tough lessons, they're not going to always like what you have to say, but they'll be glad that you were there. This is that. So, and this actually makes them happy, just so you know, the mediumship makes God and Jesus very happy when people do connect with this. People will challenge mediumship and say it's against God and it's against the Bible. And I teach Bible study at God and Jesus' request. It's actually in there, I think, a couple times, mediumship and the desire to actually communicate. So just so you know, being an oracle for Jesus and God, it is their desire to connect with your loved ones. You are not going against their wishes like a lot of New Age people think, and a lot of people that have a very fear-based and a limited thing. It's the complete opposite, and you're making them happy when you do this. FYI. Okay. All right, one more question, and then I have to make you guys work.
This ties into your answer. How does that tie into the reincarnation if you're trying to burn off your sins? Do you have to burn them off before you come back?
So when you go to purgatory, you're burning off some of your sins and mistakes. Sins and mistakes. There's two categories, and they've shown me both. And they've given me keys in my hands to show me what's sins and what's mistakes, and how to save people, and what they are, and then what they can do to release themselves from it, which is another class. In purgatory, you work on clearing up some of your sins and mistakes. And what you can't clear up in purgatory and or don't need to, you come back in your next incarnation and have to clear up. So it's a combination of both. You actually are in purgatory, clearing up a level of them that they will allow you to do in purgatory to make it through to heaven, but you're not going to clear up everything in purgatory. You're going to clear up what they will allow you to in purgatory to get through heaven's doorway. You get through heaven's doorway, you get to spend X amount of time in heaven, which is complete bliss and happiness. You get to recover from earth. You get to heal. You get to plan your next incarnation, how you want to evolve, how you want your experiences on earth to challenge you to evolve, who you want as your soulmates, what you want to go through, and then you plan, here's how I'm going to clear up this karma, here's also how I'm going to collect on my karmic blessings. So you're going to chart both for yourself. Come back in your next incarnation, it's game on. So you're going to have both, the positive and the negative karmas coming your way for the next incarnation. And then the next incarnation until you're finally cleared of all of it and released completely. Make sense? Yeah. So, okay, you guys. I hope that this was insightful for you. Good questions. By the way, she did want me to tell you this really quickly. We have 2 Havanese dogs I got for my daughters when they were young. Not just your people incarnate and come back. They showed me a few years ago dogs, animals also incarnate and come back. They showed me Maya, our dog, our Havanese. He's going to incarnate and came back and was with the family of a couple boys. So they showed me the exact same thing. So if you're wondering if your animals incarnate and come back, the answer is yes, just like humans. So if you wonder wherever they are, you can think just like your mom and dad. They're in heaven living, and then they come back and have a new family on earth too, and they could actually come back to you at some point too. Okay. All right, you guys. This is what I want to do next. Since I've enlightened you with a whole bunch of spiritual stuff, which I am happy to do, and I think it's fascinating. Hopefully this helps you. Now, I'm going to have to make you work though. You guys want to do some readings? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to teach you an easy, basic opening up meditation, and then I'm going to have you guys turn to a partner, and you guys are going to do a reading together. After this workshop, I'm going to ask you to practice doing this opening up meditation, and then to continue doing practice mediumship readings with your friends, your family, so that you keep challenging yourself, so that you continue to open up your psychic abilities and your courage and your bravery. One of the things when you're doing mediumship or you're doing personal readings, I need you to be honest right now, it takes courage, it takes bravery, it takes confidence. The more you practice, the more courageous you get. So just think you're doing it also to build your confidence too. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and sit down for this. Okay. So, in the very beginning, my guides did teach me I'm not allowed to close my eyes when I activate myself. Why? You get too sleepy. So I want you to keep your eyes always opened up when you're working psychically. Do not close your eyes. You're going to become too disconnected. Your feet are always on the ground. When I crossed my legs one time, they shut me down immediately. They told me when I crossed my legs, I closed up my lower chakras, and they closed me up. They disciplined me. I'm like, okay, won't make that mistake again. So you need your chakras open so the energy flows. Your hands are typically open like this. I want you to always find a quiet place in your house, but no, don't make it conditional that you're only going to do this if it's super quiet. You're just going to find it quiet enough. So don't make excuses. It's not quiet enough. It's not perfect enough. You can't start making it be unrealistic. Just make it quiet enough. Okay, so I'm going to just guide you and open you up, and you guys are going to remember this. Okay. First thing you want to do is ground yourself. So Kuan Yin is going to ground you. And you can call into Kuan Yin, and you can also call into your guides and angels when you do this. Take a deep breath. You guys keep taking deep breaths while I guide you through opening you up. We're going to ask Kuan Yin to please ground you, to please send you grounding energy. I see Kuan Yin putting brown stones all over your feet, putting you in a grounded state. Grounding means you're in the present moment. Your mind isn't racing, running around in a to-do list. Grounding means you are fully in a present moment, not anxious, not distracted. We're going to ask Kuan Yin to please continue to ground you further and deeper. I see more brown stones piling up on your feet. You should start to feel yourself shifting into a more peaceful, calm state Watch for how your energies are going to start to shift now, where you're going to start to feel much more peaceful. Her hands are on the top of your head. She's grounding you deeper, and now she's clearing you. We're going to ask her to clear your aura, to clear your aura of all psychic debris and all negative energies. Dear Kuan Yin, please clear our mind. Please clear our mind of all busy, distracting thoughts, of all limited beliefs, of all denials, of all fears and all doubts. Please clear our mind of all psychic debris, all fears and all doubts. Next, please clear our chakras. Please clean and clear our chakra system of all psychic debris, negative energies, fears and doubts. She's taking a white feather, and she's taking the feather and she's dusting your chakras. I see the feather start to collect gray dust. She's collecting negative energies from your entire chakra system as she clears away your fears, your doubts, and the negative psychic debris that we collect from the negative computer screens, cell phones, the viruses, the negative vibrations of arguments on earth, negative entities. Please continue to clear our chakras until they are completely clean and clear. Next, you're going to activate yourself. We're going to ask Kuan Yin to please turn on your psychic abilities. I want you to visualize a white light switch floating in front of you. And we're going to ask Kuan Yin to please turn on your psychic abilities. Dear Kuan Yin, please turn on my psychic channels. Please turn me on now. Please activate my psychic channels now. I want you to see how the white light switch turned up and is on. Your psychic channels are now turned on. Kuan Yin, please open up my crown chakra, my knowing channel. I want you to imagine a purple globe of energy on top of your head appeared, and it is now beginning to radiate larger and larger. Your crown chakra is open and expanded. Kuan Yin, please open and expand my clairvoyance. There's an indigo blue globe of light now appearing in front of your forehead. Her hand is in front of it. Her hand lifts up, opening and activating your third eye. Dear Kuan Yin, please open and expand my clairaudience, my ear chakras. Her hands are at your throat, where there's a blue globe of light. Her hands lift and opens up your ear chakras. Dear Kuan Yin, please open and expand my heart chakra so I can give and receive messages with love and compassion. Please open up my clairsentience. Her hands are at your stomach, your core chakra. She lifts her hands where there's a yellow globe of light that begins to glow large, like a ray of light right out of your stomach. Your clairsentience is open and expanded. Next, please open my sacral chakra. An orange globe beneath your belly button is opened and expanded. Lastly, please open up my root chakra at your tailbone. Her hand lifts where there is a red globe of light which radiates going out from beneath you and out of you. As it goes out from underneath you, it grounds you to planet Earth. As it anchors you to planet Earth, your purple crown chakra connects you to the higher realms, to heaven. I now want you to see yourself floating in the space in between heaven and earth, where you are in the blue universe. Next, we're going to ask God to please surround you in his vibration, to hold you while you are on the other side. I want you to see yourself be surrounded in a ray of white light. Next, I want you to visualize a white door in the blue sky, the doorway to heaven. And we're going to ask Kuan Yin to please open the doorway to heaven to allow you to connect to your friends and family on the other side, that it is your true desire and wish to connect with your friends and family on the other side. The doorway, she opened and cracked it just an inch from me right now until you guys are seated up with a partner. Okay, so you guys are all opened up right now. So I want you to turn and find a partner to do a reading with. And do you have a notebook and a pen? Okay, good, because I didn't bring any. Oh, no. No. She's got a tiny one. Okay, you're just gonna, if you don't have a notebook, you're just gonna remember it. Okay. Okay, just get comfortable, and then I'm gonna get you guys started. Okay. Okay, students, let me know when you're just like physically situated. I need to like get you set up before I actually have you like go. Okay. This part is important. You can turn towards each other, yeah. Okay. Maybe she can share her notebook with you. Okay. 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 Perfect. Okay, now I need you guys to listen to me on this part. This is important. Okay. Okay, you guys ready? Okay, this part is actually really important. All teachers teach different. You're with an oracle that works for, remember, the 4 ascended masters. Honesty is everything. They taught me from the very beginning. Only deliver what you get. You write down only what you get. You're not going to sit here and go into some kind of fantasy land where I think this, or I intuitively think this, or I want it to be this. When I was in development class, I had students next to me, and they're writing some dialogue in Walt Disneyland, and my intuition is going, you are getting yourself into so much trouble. Oh my gosh, what are you doing? No, they never went on to become like working mediums. It's literally very analytical. You are only going to get what heaven is going to give to you. You give your person only what you get. You don't give them what you think they want. You don't give them something to make yourself look like you're getting stuff. One word, one vision could mean so much to one person. Don't fill up paragraphs on your notebook and make it be like, I got all this. You're going to grow and develop as you work and you earn it. So you're going to get maybe one word, maybe 1 or 2 visions, maybe one thought, or maybe one feeling. Like a detective. They trained me like a detective to only deliver what you receive and to detach from the person. So you're going to write down exactly what you get. This is mediumship, so we know we're connecting with loved ones. With loved ones, the goal is to tell your client, all right, when you're the psychic, you're going to tell your client who you're connecting with. So the goal is to tell them who it is. So you're going to try to figure out, well, by what they give to you, who they are, how they passed, any hobbies, any jobs. And that's typically what they're going to come through telling you. So how it's arranged, that's what they're already supposed to tell you. So they're going to come in telling you, I'm dad, heart attack, this, that, love poker. So be ready. They're going to come in doing that for you. You get to ask them questions telepathically. So when it's quiet, you get to guide it and ask them, who are you? How did you pass? Can you tell me any jobs? Can you tell me any hobbies? So when it's quiet, you can ask questions to guide it. So you're like a detective trying to tell your person who they are and write down the facts of what you're getting, and that's it. And then when I call it time, you're going to deliver it to the person, and the client's going to say yes or no and give you your validations. Make sense? And then just remember, you start here, and then you keep working on it, you're going to continue to get more hits, and more hits, and more hits, more hits. And this is the other thing, be strong. You might get something that your client can't validate right now. Tonight, at 2 o'clock in the morning, they might validate, oh my gosh, that was my Uncle David. So you be strong. You might get valid stuff now that your person innocently really can't remember. So don't go small, Don't go back down. You have to be a warrior, and you deliver it and you walk away. So you've been successful if you've delivered it when you've gotten it clear and accurate, not necessarily if your person is validated. Last night after my group reading, someone comes down and signs up for the table. Maureen, that was my motorcycle and my pepperoni pizza. Dude, come on, seriously, every single time. So I'm hung out to dry every single group reading where I'm left to hang with all these validations, and then they come down, they find me later and they confess, or they email me and they confess, right? So I've learned over the years, they just didn't want to participate, they shrunk up. So you don't shrink up, you deliver and think they just forgot, or they just aren't going to play the game right now, okay? Like always. Okay, so I'm going to try to time you, and then we're going to switch. And what's going to happen, Kuan Yin's going to open the door, anything's going to come through, knowing, seeing, hearing, feeling. So your job is to not drop the ball for the souls on the other side. So you concentrate, and what I want you to visualize for your concentration spot is focus on a white screen. Visualize a screen like this, completely white. This is one of my things I give my students. A white drop-down screen. Visualize a white drop-down screen, and you're going to focus on a drop-down screen the whole time, and you're just going to see what you experience in any one of your channels. It can come in 2 or 3 things at one time, one thing at one time. Your goal, you catch it, you write it down. It's easier than it sounds. You just have to pay attention and catch it as it flows in. And then when it's quiet, telepathically, you can ask some questions. Okay, you guys got this. I have confidence in all of you. Okay, you may begin. Okay. You may begin. One at a time. So one person's a psychic and one person's a receiver. One at a time. One at a time. Open eyes. Yep.
Look at her and visualize it.
I don't look at her, I look away from her. So look away from her so then you won't be distracted by her. Keep your eyes open, and then I don't look at the person, I look away from the person. So I usually open my eyes and I end up looking like this to the side. Because when I look at the person, because I'm so psychic, I start reading their mind. So I have to detach from a human, or I'll start reading Burger King, pizza, shopping. So my guide goes like this. Kuan Yin will just like this. She moves my head over here, and then all of a sudden I'm disconnected from the earthling, and then the soul starts to come through, and then I start to see them, and there's like an energy wall between me and the human, and then all of a sudden I see them and I start to get the stuff. So just shift your this way, right or left, and eyes always open. Okay.
This is writing down, so if I'm the psychic, is he writing down?
No, you're the psychic, so you're going to write down what you get your psychic hits.
Okay. All right, and I tell him or not?
You're going to tell him at the end when I say time.
Oh, at the end. That's
Yeah.
the way.
So I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes.
There's no
There's no communication
communication.
yet. So we're not doing it live. You're just going to write it down for 5 minutes. I'm going to call it time, and then you're going to tell your person. Sorry, guys. Yeah. I used to Benadryl. Oh, my. Okay, you guys, ask one more question. I'm going to shut you down on this. Okay, 3, 2, and 1. This round is done. Now I want you to give it to your partner. So you're going to give it to your partner, and this is what you're going to do. On your notepad, your partner is going to say yes. If they say yes, put a plus next to it. That means that hit is a positive. That means you got it right. If they say no, you put a negative. So you're going to kind of grade yourself and see how many hits you get that's accurate. Right. Okay, you guys, I'm so sorry I have to stop you here. Only because of time. Can I have you guys' attention? Okay. Can I have you guys switch, or I won't have time for your meditation? But really quickly, how did this round go? Got some hits? Got yes? Yes? Okay, that's exciting. Okay, go ahead and switch now, and the other person take turns. Okay, guys, go ahead and are you alone? Okay, I was saying I'll throw you in with somebody else. Okay. guys, I'm going to cut this one kind of short. So at the count of 3, ask one more question. I know, I'm so sorry. 2. And you can also practice after this. You can get each other's names and numbers too, FYI. Yeah. I hate to do this. 1. And we're done with this round only because of the time factor. Because I want to hear from you before I do the meditation. Good, good, good. Okay, guys, I hate to do this to you. Can you guys get back into your spots so that you're facing me? Okay, guys. All right. I need my gong. Ava, where's my gong? Can I have everybody's attention? Oh my gosh, thank you. The gong. Thank you. Yeah, can you come back? Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right, real quick, I got like maybe a couple minutes. I just want to hear from you guys before I go into the guided meditation for you. I want to hear from you guys. How did it go? Did it go? Did it flow for some of you? Did you get some hits? Raise your hand if you got some hits. Yay! We got some hits. So there's some progress. You felt good about it for this first round? Yay! All right, excellent. So you saw things, felt things. Isn't that exciting? It's the concentration. The more you concentrate, the more you're going to not miss it. And the more you concentrate, the more your guides and angels are going to allow them to come through. If you're not concentrating, they're not gonna work with you as much. So there's a lot more to it. But the whiteboard is the act of concentrating. Yeah. That happens sometimes. That does happen sometimes. Yeah. So, yeah. There's always a reason for it. Not that she's on her mind, but it could be that she needs to know something about him, her, for a reason. So everything happens for a higher purpose reason. So it'd be more like she'd have to have a reading about, she needs to know something about him, is what it is. Not that she's thinking about him, it's she may be thinking about him, but her guides ultimately are letting you know this and bringing him forward because she needs to know blank blank about it. So it'd be like we need to go deeper into it, is what it is. So I think everything you experience happens for a reason. And in class and over a couple months, I get into all of that. So everything you experience, nothing is random. Even all the random stuff you think are like, Maureen, a banana. I know, trust me, I know. I had pepperoni pizza last night. Nobody claimed it last night at the table. Maureen, that was my pepperoni pizza, and then the motorcycle was my dad. I'm like, oh, come on. Nothing is random. Everything is intentional. And the more you develop and understand how this works, the more you're going to be able to discern it accurately, and the more you're going to be able to work with it and either give it to somebody else if you want to do it professionally or work with it for yourself. So it's actually a real class, which is literally not just a couple months, but I tell people it's really maybe a year or two to really, really get there, because then comes discernment. There's so much discernment that's going to come with it that you have to really master with all of this. But this is kind of just giving you a little tiny peek at what you're capable of achieving and doing. And in the beginning of class, we wanted to impress on you how important it is to them, and now you understand it, and how beneficial it is for you guys to be able to receive their guidance if you do this. So with this comes discernment, with this comes more activation, with this comes so many more gifts. You get to live more multidimensional. You're here with your earthlings, and then you're also living life with your friends and family on the other side at any given moment. So it's so rewarding. I love it. I can take one question, and then I'm going to shift you guys. Yeah. So I'll do, yeah, so I'm going to close you when I give you guys a guided meditation. So the psychic shield and protection. Okay, let me just give you a quick one right now, and then I'll give you the guided one. Well, actually, she'll give you a guided one, and she'll close you. She always closes you in class, and she'll probably give you the protection one too. I actually have an armor up one if you want like a real one on my website. I have an armor up, and I actually have a third eye opening up on my website too. I'd get those, or I'd get any ones for any kind of opening up if you want to open up, and I'd also get like a little library of the shielding and protecting, and a little library of opening up ones. So just start collecting them and then do them. The guided meditations in your development process are extremely helpful. So let her just do all of it for you. Okay, you guys. So she's got like 7 minutes. I'm going to let her take over. This was a joy to have all of you guys in class. Hope you guys practice this faithfully. Did this help you? Yeah? Okay, good. You feel inspired of wanting to do this? Okay, good. So take this inspiration home with you and practice it on all of your friends, all of your family. What I suggest, go make a list of all your friends and family and use them. That's what I would do. And you can do it on your own without them there. Just get their people in heaven, and they're just going to be your practice people. And then you get their names, like your best friends, whatever people, and then you can either just do it without your best friend there and then call her afterwards when you've made the connection. And then if you want to do it live with people, you guys can exchange numbers here. Then you can also obviously do it live with your own friends and family. I am going to caution you. Do it with people like you, that are in a like-minded state. Don't do it with the ones that are going to deny and discount and be negative. Why? Because when they're the receiver, they're going to negate the banana. They're going to negate the things that are absolutely valid and not connect exactly what it is. You want people that are going to be absolutely honest and receptive. Okay, so as soon as you kind of feel like, no, saboteur, they're out, all right? Don't even waste your time on them. So look for practice groups and people that are going to be supportive, which is honest, on the same path as you guys. And the practicing is huge. Whenever you're wanting to open up mediumship or even personal readings, practice, 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 practice. And then the meditations to activate yourself. Okay. All right, you guys, it was my pleasure. I'm going to sit down now and give you guys a guided meditation with Kuan Yin. And then she also said, shielding, shielding, shielding. Okay. So, by the way, when you open up, it is important to close. When you guys are getting ready, she gave me the vision of, in the very beginning, I didn't always close myself up, and I'm the complete opposite of ADHD. I'm so extraordinary. I'm a master level channeler. That does it all. My mental concentration is extraordinarily strong, right? I left a ghost job, right? And I didn't close myself up. I got gas. I pulled away from the gas thing with it in my thing. I ripped it off. That's something I would never do. That I had to pay for it and everything. I was so embarrassed. I went, oh, they showed me, because I was so out of my body. I wasn't grounded. I went, oh my gosh. So I walked into walls. Okay. So when you don't close up after you've been opened up, you're going to be really, because your soul isn't fully back in your body. Your soul really is pushed out. So when you open up, close down, okay? Or you're going to make dumb things like that. So, okay. She's going to teach you the closing up one right now, first. We're going to just give you an easy, fast one. Okay, so she's now going to put the white light switch back in front of all of you. She's saying, just call upon your guides and angels, always for assistance, and as well as Kuan Yin, if you desire her help. She's floating the white light switch directly in front of your face. With guided meditations, you can close your eyes since you're receiving them. When you're working on your own, I want you to keep your eyes open when you're working. You can close them now, though, when you're closing up. Visualize the white light switch now turning down. You're going to ask your guides and angels. Tonight we're going to ask Kuan Yin to please shut down your psychic abilities. Please close me up, Kuan Yin. Please close up all of my psychic channels. Please close me down now. I want you to feel how the vibrations are falling off of you. I want you to feel how the energy is starting to feel more dead now inside of you. I want you to see how the rays of light that maybe you did see are now starting to just disappear. All the rays of light, all your chakras are now closing up as she takes her hand on top of your head and in front of each one of your chakras, and she shuts them down. She's closing up all of your chakras. Please ground me again. Please clear me. Please clear all psychic debris from me. She's also going to give you a psychic shielding one since it's more important first. She's giving you the suit of armor. Dear Kuan Yin, please surround me in a silver suit of armor to shield and protect me from all negative energies and all negative entities that could ever possibly harm me. Please surround me from head to toe in your suit of armor intended to shield and protect me from all negative spirits, all negative energies, all psychic debris, all malice entities roaming the planet that could ever cause me harm at any moment. Please give me more psychic shield and protection. Please surround me in a rainbow halo of light to give me more psychic shield and protection, to hold my vibration in a higher state. Please shield me now. Please surround me again in another rainbow halo intended to shield and protect me from all negative entities and energies at all times, now and forever, and so it is. Amen. Now Kuan Yin is giving you your actual gift for attending her class. Kuan Yin is now standing behind each of you. You might feel her presence. I see her hand is in front of your third eye. Her hand is on your forehead. She has pearls inside the palm of her hand. Kuan Yin is gifting you activation with your third eye, helping you open and expand your clairvoyant powers. She's showing me the doorway to heaven with a portrait of a family next to it. She's saying she's pleased that you want to welcome your family and your friends into your life. She's saying it pleases God, it pleases your family, it pleases your friends, that you want to continue to make the connection. Her hand is on your back. She's saying she is more than willing to assist you and help you develop this connection, to please call upon me at any given moment, and I will help you bridge the gap between your dimension and heaven's dimension and help facilitate opening up your psychic abilities as well as expanding them. I will now gift you my powers, my abilities, and help you open and develop further your clairvoyant powers as well as your clairaudience, your claircognizance, and your clairsentience, so that you may more easily see, hear, feel, know, and discern the visitations from your loved ones. It is I, Kuan Yin, Goddess of Mercy and Compassion, who wishes and hopes for you to embrace the love and the presence of your soulmates who reside on the other side, who wish nothing more than to guide, protect, and help you. Please help them clear up their karmic debt. Please help them make a presence in your life now and forever. It truly is their wish. They wish to serve you. They wish to serve mankind. It helps them more than you understand. Look at them as volunteers, volunteers from the other side. It brings them so much joy. Take their hand. Help pull them through the doorway from the other side into your dimension. You must do it, though, through your heart, through your mind, and through using your chakras, your psychic abilities. Embrace them. Embrace the presence of your spiritual guides and guardian angels into your life as well, and seek their guidance. This is the path of spiritual enlightenment. This is where you will find comfort, joy, and guidance that the earthlings cannot give to you. This is where you will find true wisdom and the answers to your questions that will guide you in the direction that will always lead you in the places and the path that will ultimately be for your greater good and cause you to create the positive karmic blessings for yourself. It is my wish to always see all of you develop higher and ascend. Please call upon me through prayers, thoughts, your wishes. Show your devotion to me, and I will come through stronger with my presence and my powers and give you more gifts that I have to give. Anya now put her other hand on your stomach, and I saw her embrace all of you. And now see her put a lotus flower at each of your feet, giving you a gift and an invitation, leaving you with her blessing. The invitation is to call upon her at any given moment. Anya now has stepped away from you and is standing in front of the classroom, in front of the table, and I see her now bow to each of you, saying that class is complete and giving you her blessing, and saying, and so it is. There you guys. There it is. Okay. All right, you guys. Thank you. Welcome. What was that? Are we allowed to get pictures? Sure. Yeah. Do I look okay?